What's going on, agents? ASCII Adam here. If you enjoy today's content, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to get future Division 2 updates. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to my fellow service members and veterans. We love you. Thank you for your service. Also, suicide is never an option. If you're feeling suicidal, please get help. Call a family member, call a friend, call the National Suicide Hotline, message me. Do what you need to do to get well. Alright guys, so today I want to show you the build that I've been running, and it is by far my favorite build that I've ever played in the game. This is a scale build, and without further ado, let me show you. So I am using the HardWire gear set, and I am using the Pestilence. And if you don't know, if you're running a skill build, I would say the best weapon to use with a skill build, if you're not going for a bleed or a fire, is the Pestilence. And the reason that is the best weapon is because of the talents on it. So I won't read all of this out, but what happens is when you shoot someone 5 times, they get inflicted with Plague of the Outcasts. If they die, and it does not matter how they die, whether it is from your gun, from your skills, or from somebody else's skills or guns, they explode in a gas cloud, and in that gas cloud you do 1000% weapon damage per second to anyone inside the cloud. Right there, that should tell you, awesome. You don't have to have a whole lot of damage, and this will do a whole lot of damage. They also receive a debuff that reduces healing by 50% for 10 seconds, but that's not here nor there. This is mainly a PvE build, but it does work in PvP, and in fact it works pretty well. And if you take a look at the build, you'll see that I actually have a lot of defensive stats to the tune of 367,000 armor. Now, even with that, I still have 2,970 skill power, so I can run all of my mods. The way that I do that is, of course, with the Technician specialization, which gives you 50% extra skill power. So let me just go ahead and run through this build. I am using the Pestilence. As my secondary, I am using AP 416, and the only reason I have that is for recharged. That gives my turret 25% extra duration. And then I am running a pistol that has In Rhythm on it, which gives me a 5% chance to refresh my active skill cooldowns. So, again, I am running the HardWire 4-piece, and as you can see, on my gear, I only have 3 yellow batteries, and only 2 of those actually have skill power on it. All the rest of my skill power is coming from my mods. And so let me go through this here. I have my hardwired mask. On that mask, I have 42% damage to elites, which is pretty low for TU6. I have found 148%, but that's the best I've got, and that's on another build. 7% health, and then I have 86% or 86 skill power with 3% explosive damage. On my chest, I have 678 skill power, 3.5% weapon damage, and 22.5% total armor. This also has hard hitting for the 25% damage to elites, 67 skill power, 2% grenade damage, 3.5% explosive damage, 1,000 armor, 6% explosive resistance, and 4.5% total armor. Then I have some LMG damage on there as well. My holster, again running the HardWire, which if you don't know, I'm not going to go through tamper-proof. It's supposed to shock things. It doesn't for the 3-piece. For the 4-piece, every 15 seconds, if you get a kill or heal somebody from 0, you get your Seeker Mines back. It refreshes your skills. And also, when a skill comes off of cooldown, you gain a damage bonus. Don't know how much, but seems to work all right. It has 435 skill power, 34,000 health. I have 114 skill power, 3.5% explosive damage, 77 skill power, and 4.5% explosive damage. The backpack, again, HardWire, 20.5% total armor, 27% skill haste, 10,000 health, destructive for my 40% explosive damage, 70 skill power, 3.5% explosive damage, and some LMG damage. BTSU gloves. If you didn't know, the BTSU gloves, when you set somebody on fire or anything like that, when you apply a status effect, you gain 10% skill damage for every yellow that you have. I have 10 yellows, so that would be 100% skill damage when I apply a status effect. Also, that status affected enemy, well, let me say this. This gives you a buff for 60 seconds. That stays up no matter what for 60 seconds. The people who you have put the status effect on, you also get a 50% more damage from your skills, and that is actually a multiplicative, so it's a lot more. Now, that does mean that you have to set somebody on fire, you have to, confuse them or whatnot. So I have been thinking about changing out these gloves for the contractor's gloves, which have perfect terminate. And what that does is when you deplete an enemy's armor, you gain 40% skill damage for 15 seconds, and then every kill refreshes that. I think I may be able to keep this buff up longer, even though I would get less of a damage buff. It would be over a much longer period of time. And so I may try that out. I'm not sure. I don't seem to proc my BTSU gloves very often. When I do, it's a lot of damage, but it seems few and far between because I'm not using a skill that actually can make that proc often. So there is that caveat to this whole build. Now, it does have 3.5% explosive damage, 76 skill power, 2.5% explosive damage, 144 skill power, and then 3.5% total armor. And my knees, the final piece, I have 10.5% total armor, 5% total armor, and patience. Patience is lovely on a skill build because you are running 2 offensive skills, so you don't have a way to repair your armor other than your armor kits, so patience really does work very well. Again, 3% total armor, some explosive resistance, which I think takes me up to 10%, and then 4% total armor. I am running the assault turret, which I have 140.8% damage, 85% skill haste, 137.8 damage. And then my seeker mines, which I have 195% skill haste, 94.8% damage, and 6 extra mines. So that is the build, and as you saw before this video got started, it does a lot of damage, and there will be a little bit of footage after I get done talking here. But I hope you like the build. Give it a try. It is very, very, very tanky as far as a skill build goes. I almost never fear death, and I still can top damage charts, if not very close to it. It's a great build. Go out there, give it a try. Again, if you're new to this game, which I don't think there's all that many new people, but let me just caveat this with, you will never have the same build as me. I will never have the same build as you. We will be close. We could be close, but with the RNG in this game, I know some other content creators say this as well, and I 100% agree with it. This is a template. Take this build and say, you know what? I wouldn't mind giving that a try. Let me try HardWire 4-piece. Well, you may want to use a HardWire gloves and change out your mask. You may want to use a HardWire knee pads and change out, something else. It is totally up to you. This is just showing you the potential of a build. All right, guys, take it easy. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
but defend against them. Well done. Send the info back to all our allies.
An agent needs assistance. An agent is no longer in your group. An agent has left your group.